Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering the Linux Fundamentals Part 2. This is going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to learn how to SSH into a machine. We're going to, learn how to, go through the file system, modify if you can read, write, and execute, your permissions, just, more basic stuff. So, once again, not going to do this. I already started my machine right here, as you can see, and I just opened up a terminal. So, let's go into this. Okay, so this is going to be explaining how to SSH into the machine. This is our target machine, okay? So, what we're going to do, so that's what it's going to show you. So, basically what we're going to want to do, so SSH stands for Secure Shell. All right, so you're going to get onto that basically right here. That's what we have to do. And you're going to basically have a shell on this other machine, meaning that you are going to have access as if like you are on that device. So here we're gonna do TryHackMe at, what was the IP? And we're just gonna copy and paste. Okay. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes. Password. Let's see if it says what the password is. I need to type password and then see if not be able to see it. Password is TryHackMe. Okay. Now it's going to show up as Linux 2, right? So if you take a look up here, this is us. Now we are in this account, or this device, I should say. Okay, so moving on, we're going to learn introduction to flags and switches. So this is going to, so you have LSA, so it's going to list all. I believe it's also going to show all of, even if they're hidden. So yeah, so here you go. Here's some more. You can pause and kind of check those out. So that's for your manual right there. All right, so here's a little bit more. You can pause there. It's for the manual page. Okay. And then, so what directional arrow key will we use to navigate down the manual page? Okay, so basically, let's just, all right, so we have here, and basically what we're going to do is what direction, okay? So obviously, we're going to do down, all right? We want to see what's going on, or you can just scroll here too. So it's going to be down. Okay. What flag would we use to display the output in a human readable format? This is going to be a -H, but let me. Okay. So yeah, so it's going to be like this, -H. Okay. Human readable. Here we go. Okay. Now we're going to move on to some commands. All right, let me just clear out of here. Let me just clear that. You can also, so you can clear this with saying clear, or you can clear with saying Control L. So that's another way you could do it. Anyway, so here we go. We got some more commands. We have touch, which create a file, make directory, copy, move, remove, and then determine the type of file. So here's some examples you can check out. Okay, so going to the questions. How would you create a file named, a new file named new note? So this would be touch, right? Because that's the command for creating a new file. New touch, new note. There we go. All right, so let's just see touch, new note, boom. And we see right here, all right, just listing out what we just created. There we go. On the Boyle machine, what is the file type known of unknown one? Okay, so let's see, we are in the home directory, all right? Now let us see what, so this is going to be file. So unknown one is right here. So we're in that directory, and then unknown one. Okay, so what is it? ASC. I don't know if it's ASC2 text or ASCII text. That I'm not entirely too sure, but it is one of them. So that's what it is. So how will we move the file, my file, to the directory, my folder? So this is going to be move, because that mv is the command for move. Move my file space my folder. Okay. So now if we ls, we see my file is no longer here, right? But if we cd into my folder, all right, and then we ls in there, we see my file is now in there. So my file, my folder. Okay, now what are the contents of this file? So this, let's see. There you go. So don't forget, cat is going to be your basically your read command of what is inside of a file or in a note. So that's what that cat command is going to do. Okay, now we're moving on to your permissions. So you have these. So what you're going to see, so R stands for read, W stands for write, execute is going to be this. This will be an X. I know there's none here, but that's what that would be. But basically it's showing you the permissions of what the person has. Now, so these are also in 3 categories. It breaks up into 3 separate categories in here as to who has access or permissions to do what specifically. And obviously we see file 1, file 2, they're 2 different files that have 2 different, well, they do have the same, but they are 2 different permissions, right? So you can have execute for file 1 and not have it for file 2. But anyway, moving on, then we see switching between users. We're going to use the su command. Don't get that confused with sudo, which would stand for super user. But yeah, we have that as a command as well. So let's take a look at this. So on the deployable machine, who is the owner of important? All right, so then now what we're going to do is I just end up clearing this. So we are going to, I also went back when we were also in the my folder directory. So I just backed out of that. Now I'm in here. So basically what we're going to do is follow this command up here, which is the ls-lh, which is going to list, where is it? ls-lh. All right. So it's going to list the permissions of all files in the directory, which we know if we list, we see important is right there. So we're going to list this, we see important, okay? So now we see who's the deployable machine, that is the owner. We see the owner is user 2. So put that in there. So what would the command be to switch to user 2? So from here, we're going to switch to user 2. So let's go over here, let's do user 2, password, TryHackMe. Now it's going to log us in as, okay, well, I guess that is not a password. So I'm not entirely sure what the password is to get into user 2's account. I'm trying TryHackMe. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see it, and it's not working. However, we don't really need it to get into that account. As long as we are able to read the file, that's all we need to be able to do. So, I mean, we'll see right here. So what we're able to do is, let's make sure. Okay, so now if we cat important, that is the answer. So that's all we need to really do. You just, I guess, have to know how you can do it, or that you are able to swap. There is a way to change these permissions with the chmod command, but that is not in this video, and I don't want to go a little too much. I'm sure it might be in the next one or something like that. So just, you can look up into that if you want, and check that out. But that is a command that you are able to use to change permissions. Anyway, so moving on to common directories, I'm just going to clear this. And so we see the list. So you have the etc. I'm just going to briefly go over these so you have an understanding. So the etc folder, short for etc., is a commonplace location to store system files that are used by your operating system. Slash var directory, being short for variable data, is one of the main root folders found on a Linux install. This folder stores data that is frequently accessed or written by services or applications running on the system. For example, log files. Okay, root. So unlike the home directory, the root folder is actually the home for the root system user. There's anything more folder than just understanding that this is the home directory for the root user. And then TMP, so short for temporary. The TMP directory is volatile and used to store data that is only needed to be accessed once or twice. Okay, so we see that. We kind of see examples. You can pause that. So let's see. So we just did expected logs. So that was that, because remember we talked about it earlier. And then what root directory is similar to how RAM on a computer works. So this is going to be similar to memory, because your RAM is your memory. So that is going to be your temporary. And then name the home directory of the root user. This is root. Okay, no answer. And then I believe that is all. Yep. So that's basically what we did. And then now we're going to move into number 3, part 3. So I appreciate you guys for tuning into this one. I hope to catch you in the 3rd and final part. I might do something on my own following these, but for right now, I'm just going to do the 3 parts that TryHackMe has. So yeah, I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for sticking around for this one, and hope to catch you there.